So I've
oh,
the privilege to
you're dropping some secrets in there, some Hollywood. Oh, okay,
yeah,
getting me intrigued now.
And then.
So good evening, everybody, and welcome to my channel. Tonight we have the YouTube channel presenter Jolmer, who has the YouTube channel ForFunFlyer. I'm sure many of you follow his channel, but if you haven't, please go and check it out. And tonight I feel very privileged to be able to interview him. So I've got a list of questions which I've managed to put together to actually try and glean out of you. Because when you watch a YouTube channel, I don't know if you find this, you kind of get used to people, but actually you don't know who they are behind the camera. And I think this is a great opportunity to actually understand who somebody is. So please, Jolmer, introduce yourself to those that are watching my channel for a change, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, as you just told your audience, I'm Jolmer, I'm 42, and I'm a fellow aviator. I fly microlight aircraft on a Dutch sport license, sport pilot license. And just as you, I am sharing my love and passion for aviation with an ever bigger audience on primarily on YouTube, on ForFunFlyer.
I'll come on to that sports license bit later on, because that really confuses me what a sports license is. So
yeah, there are a lot of different categories, and it's for even within one country, it's really confusing, even for all the CEAs.
So clearly you've got a YouTube channel, clearly you've got a passion for flying. What is actually your profession? If you're happy to talk about it, what is the bit that pays the bills to allow you to go flying? We've all got one, we all want to fly, but what pays the bills?
Well, actually, it's a bit of a weird mix of all the stuff I like doing most. So that's a really privilege for me to be able to do that. But the most stuff I do is related to IT, engineering, and electronics, and that all in a mix. But I'm more kind of on a project-based, self-employed guy, because I do every now and then also other projects like. Well, the most fantastic jobs I do every now and then is for Hollywood, for example. So I've the privilege
you're dropping some secrets in there, some Hollywood. Oh, okay,
getting
me intrigued now.
And then. Yeah, and that has something to do with aviation, so that's a great fun. But perhaps we can circle back on that later. But so I'm a self-employed guy. I don't have employers or employees. Sorry, but I work with a lot of other. Mostly, I'm facilitating their IT and also custom questions, etc. But overall, I work on a project base. So sometimes IT, sometimes web-based, sometimes little piece of electronics.
I'm sure there's lots of things you can't talk about.
Yeah, I'm really passionate. But overall, it's the creation bit I like doing most.
Avionics. I'm no good at avionics. Mechanics, I'm fine. But avionics, I'll leave that to the people. It's someone said to me, when you let the smoke out, it stops working. That's as far as I can cope with it. So,
that's it. But no, all in all, it's about creating stuff. I guess.
So the big question is, for most of us that fly, that there's always a trigger point in life. So how did you get involved in aviation?
Yeah, I think it's almost a classic story of a little guy, a little geeky, nerdy kind of guy that was interested in all things scientific and technical. So I loved aerospace, I loved space travel, astronomy, and then really I was quite the nerd back in the day.
I think we're all secret nerds, to be honest, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I'm actually proud of it. But no, I made a lot of stuff when I was a kid, all made of cardboard and paper, like these little static models of rockets, but also models of airplanes. And later, when I got my first book on aerodynamics as a little kid of 9 years old, only I could understand the basic principles of aerodynamics, and I built my own free glider, all made by paper, etc. And I did some stuff in RC flying. then my life got a bit of a strange turn of events. But I circled back later on again to RC flying.
I don't think there's many pilots that haven't dabbled in radio controlled model flying. I certainly have got a passion for that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's. I know a lot of guys that do both, and I crossed paths with another sport pilot who took me up for the flight, and well, the rest is history.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you jumped from model aircraft straight to the full size, nothing in between.
No, well, there are airplanes in every scale available. So the huge, big scale RC airplanes are almost that big that you can almost carry a person, right? So it kind of there's a sort of a flipping point in aircraft where all of a sudden you're able to board the airplane and fly it yourself instead of staying on the ground. So, and that's the beauty of RC flying as well. It is just the broadest kind of hobby one can do with really tiny airplanes and really big ones. So,
right. Okay. So you fly microlights, but why did you not choose the bigger general aviation aircraft? I mean, you fly 600 kilo microlights, which we're now starting to get or soon to be allowed to fly in the UK. Why did you choose microlights over general aviation aircraft?
Well, I'm a really pragmatic kind of guy. So if I want something, I want to do it as soon as possible. And that category, a specific one can get really fast. So it doesn't take up a lot of time to earn your wings, so to say. And there's of course also the matter of costs. The sport pilot category, and I started my flight training in Germany, by the way, not in Holland, but in Germany. And that route was particularly short and really inexpensive at the moment. So
why did you start in Germany? Were you living in Germany at the time?
No. Well, the Netherlands isn't that big, of course. So it was 1 hour, 15 minutes drive to the airport in Germany, just at the other side of the border.
Is it a different type of license in Germany then?
Well, that's a totally different kind of discussion, but yeah. Well, that's the funny part. So basically, when you fly a microlight aircraft in Germany, you have to have a national German license, pilot license. And if you want to do the same in Holland, you have to have a Dutch pilot license, a national pilot license. And that's a bit strange because they're identical. If you have two identical airplanes and one has a different call sign than the other, then you're not allowed to fly on the other and vice versa. So that's a bit stupid. But it is... is
that called rules and politics, isn't it?
Oh, only politics, yeah. As soon as I don't understand stuff, most of the time it's about politics. But well, I started in Germany by flight training, and I earned my wings within half a year, I guess. So it was a pretty fast route, and it was really good flight school, and I learned a lot, and I did my initial flying there as well. So I did some hour building, but at a certain moment, the drive to and back from the airport in Germany was a bit time consuming. And at a certain point in time, I searched somewhere close to home, an airfield or in a flying club that could facilitate my flying. And that was when I stumbled upon the flying club at the Drachten Airport, which is now my home airport.
So how long, you said obviously you started in Germany, you carried on in the Netherlands. How long did it actually take you to get your license? Well, because clearly you alluded to you want to do things straight away. So it's like, I'm off, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
How long did it actually take you to get your license in the end?
From start to finish in Germany was half a year. So
half a year.
Months, yeah. So that was pretty fast considering it's a 3-axis microlight, which essentially is the same as just a bigger J flying. I think I flew a lot in 172s as a co-pilot or a PEX, and it's pretty much the same. It's only a bit heavier, more stable. It's even easier to land, I think, to my taste at least, than most microlights.
Cessnas are quite easy. Yeah, I've landed a 172 a couple of times, and it's just point it and pull back, and it kind of lands itself itself, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then but with microlights, you have to really be careful how much you flare the airplane, because there's just a really tiny bend between flaring and just stalling it just a couple of feet above.
Yeah, I found that even on the flex wings. Yeah, a bit too much, and you're going up. All right, I'm going around. Yeah,
exactly. That. So so have you there, and I for a couple of years I was able to fly with Dutch registered microlight aircraft, because I was able to validate my German license into a Dutch license.
Right.
But after the third time, our CAA told me it wasn't possible anymore. All of a sudden, out of the blue.
Oh, crikey.
So that wasn't really fun message. But I managed to buy a German licensed microlight aircraft on the airfield. It was sitting there. So I flew that aircraft for a while, and at a certain moment I heard or I came to the conclusion that that wasn't really the way it's supposed to be. So if there would be some sort of audit from the police or whatever, that could be that could end up in a discussion, which I wasn't able to win. So I decided at a certain moment to just completely go the Dutch route and earn my Dutch wings as well.
Did that mean you had to start all over again?
Yes. That's stupid, and that's something I would really wish that would change, because flying is all the same. And sometimes I get the feeling that all the different European countries, I think their flying style of microlights flying is completely different than other countries. But the opposite is true. All countries base their rules on ICAO standards, which dates back in the 40s, of course. So I've done the complete route in Holland and in Germany, and from my own experience, 95% of everything is just identical to each other. So it's just it makes absolutely no sense. But to Holland, I was just a pedestrian, and I had to do everything all over again.
So how long had you been flying on your German license before you then had to restart again? Because this clearly shows your passion for flying, the fact you had to do everything again.
Yeah. And in between, I also had to do some exams when I did my temporary validation. So I don't know exactly how many practical exams I had to do, but I done a lot. That conversion, well, actually that was this summer, because in all the stuff I had to do for a Dutch pilot certificate, I had to do the complete syllabus, the complete training on a Dutch registered microlight aircraft. And I chose to do that on my own aircraft, because it just saves a lot of money. Otherwise, I would have to rent an airplane. But in order to do that, I had to buy a Dutch registered microlight aircraft first.
Is that the aircraft you've currently got now?
Yeah, that's the yellow low wing. It's a TL96 Star. She's already 21 years old, but for the age.
I remember that from your where you took it back to the factory, didn't you? And they did an overhaul on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. To the Czech Republic.
I'm still waiting for the carburetor bit. You're teasing me with that. You're teasing me.
Right now I'm busy with doing some maintenance on the airplane, which was caused also by the closure of our airport because of COVID. But it allowed me to do some and there's not a lot of stuff that is wrong with my engine. But at low idling, she sometimes skips a beat, and I looked at the ignition and ruled it out. So it's now to the carburation.
You own an aeroplane. There's going to be things that need teething. Even I'm finding that with my little two-stroke. So yes, it's called maintenance and engineering. So
exactly. Yeah.
So you've had pretty much I almost want to say a bit of a rocky road to getting your license, haven't you? Over the time.
Yeah, it's not that easy, no. Especially when it doesn't make sense at all to do it all over again, and you can't convince the CAA or all the big entities within a government that rule the stuff about aviation that you're pretty much a done pilot and you're able to fly the aircraft. Because,
oh wow, okay.
But I chose my battle, and that wasn't something I could win by myself.
You wanted to fly, you're now flying.
Exactly. So
So the big question is, and I suppose this is when you talk to a lot of vloggers or those that run a YouTube channel around aviation, how did you actually start or come up with the idea of, I'm just going to start making videos about it? And how did the name ForFunFlyer come about?
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of good examples on YouTube. I'm already for years now. I've been really intrigued by what Flight Shops is doing. Steve Thorne from Canada, and I was always wondering how the heck this guy was able to do these videos and make a living out of it, etc. And it was just so fascinating to see him making the quality videos he is still making. And bring so much joy to others by sharing what he loves doing most.
Yeah.
But the thing that always kept me back a bit, hold me back a bit in doing the same, was the ability to do video editing. This was a kind of I never looked into it, what it really meant, the video editing stuff. But I knew from a lot of folks that it was just an awful lot of work and pretty complex.
It is surprising, even just doing, say, a simple video like this, just how many hours go into editing it. You know, the more cameras, the more angles, the more you want to achieve with a video, the hours just go up and up and up. And they see a 15-minute video and you've spent days and evenings just trying to make this 15-minute video.
It is ridiculous. But
why do we do it? Why do we do it?
Well, hopefully, and then the big why for me is that I like a good challenge every now and then, I already had a lot of experience in subcategories of video editing. For example, content creation on websites. I worked for printers, so with graphical design, I know how a certain picture must look like, or what it should look like. But also audio editing. I made a lot of commercials for radio stations, etc., doing voiceover work. And so there was a lot of experience already in place. And I just told myself, just give it a try and see what it brings. And that was on the practical side of things. But the why, and that's something I now understand. But why I do the stuff still with ForFunFlyer is to motivate and inspire others. And I'm a pretty humble guy by nature, but it's just so insanely big honor to hear every now and then that somebody started their flight training because of me. And actually, I know 3 stories right now of people that bought an airplane because of me. So that's
is that where you apologize and go, I'm sorry for you having no money now?
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, always when I take a passenger up in the air, I always do this little disclaimer because it's pretty addictive. You're flying at your own risk, but know this. No, it's just I think it's a big honor to motivate and inspire others that they start their big passion to be, of course, because once you start this hobby, normally you will never get rid of it.
Yeah, I think I think we'd all kind of agree it's a passion, isn't it? And then suddenly the videos that we make, I want to share this with everybody, and that's kind of where I come from. My next videos is just sharing that joy, and that's why I always say I'm a giggling idiot on my flights. I land and I giggle just because I love it, and I see that in your videos as well. But you take it to that next level because you Mikey McBrien and Mike Patey, you kind of interviewing and in with those that sort of level. And I feel I'm at this very, very basic level. And that's where I'm happy. I'm keeping it at a very basic level because with a full-time day job, that's all we have time for as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's what is quality? It's all within the eye of the beholder. What's the saying exactly? I don't know.
I think I need to clean my glasses then.
But no, really, I think your quality, and I tuned in at a certain moment in history. I tuned in on your YouTube channel as well, and you make quite compelling stories as well. So that's no difference between what I do. And Actually, our YouTube channels are quite the same, also in size with the subscribers.
You just have an enclosed cabin, and I'm exposed to the elements. That's
exactly.
probably the only difference.
I'm nice warm, and I have this little.
I'm sitting there with gloves on and a visor and everything. Well, I've got a visor now because my face was so cold on one of my flights. Like, no, I'm going for a visor, just something to cover my face up.
Yeah, I know. It's, no, I have this little lever in my middle console in my throttle quadrant.
You got a cup holder.
No, that's an accessory I still have to earn. But no, I have this little lever that says cabin heat. So.
Oh, you probably saw one of them. I've got heated gloves, just little buttons on the back of the gloves. That's the only heating I have.
But
I don't even have a battery. There's no battery on the aircraft at all.
Oh, really?
No,
okay.
It's not electric start. It's all pull start and magneto induction. There is no batteries other than what I carry with me. That's it. Okay. It's a very, very basic aircraft. So,
but are there any heating gloves or electric
ones? The gloves are battery operated. So there's a little button on the back that just turns the batteries on. That's it. But yeah, so I'm very, very jealous of your little lever that says cabin heat.
Yeah, lovely.
But so you've given us a lot of detail about yourself, your background, and what I would almost say is an absolute monumental mountain to climb to achieve your Dutch license. And following your channel for quite a few years now. Where do you want to go? What milestones are you going to try and set yourself for 2021 and beyond? What do you want to achieve with both your flying and your channel?
Flying wise, I really would like to get my instructor certificate. So that's one of the few stuff I can get as an extra endorsement on my license. So that's called RFI, Recreational Flight Instructor. So that would be nice. And with my hours, I already gained a lot of hours for that. So it's only some theoretical part and being able to do briefings, etc. on the.
Is that so you could influence more people on their flying careers?
Yeah, or facilitate them even more when they come across at our flying club, etc. And so I really like to help people achieve their aviation goals as well. But that would be a really nice addition to what I'm already doing. And for my channel, it's growing infinitely. I would like to grow just as big as the really big YouTubers and even make more of a living out of it. Doing more.
Is it we say, Steve, watch out, Jolmer's on your tail? Sorry, Jolmer.
But I don't really believe in competition. There are also there are always other YouTube channels, and I like the complete mix of things. I don't think it's a matter of competing for other or the same viewing time of other channels. I don't believe in that.
If they're all the same, then we'd just be watching the same thing done by somebody else, and that's actually quite boring, really, isn't it? It's nice to have that spectrum of content out there.
Exactly. Yeah, and then everybody, if you have exactly the same stock of videos and you would divide it to two editors, you get a completely different videos.
As we both know, it's all in the edit. It's what you don't see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can the storytelling is done by the editor. That makes or breaks, but that is how a story is put together. And I don't believe there's a lot of competition. I think when I see the other aviation YouTube channels, there's just a lot of friendships almost and willingness to help each other out.
Well, I'm really honoured that you've agreed to do this interview with me. Thank you so much for your time. I know family time is very precious at the moment, so I will wrap this interview up here. For those that don't know about his channel, I will again leave that in the description. But for ForFunFlyer, it's got loads of interesting content, especially about flying in Europe. I'm just in awe now of the mountain you've had to climb to just get your license. Doing it twice, not just once, twice, is an amazing achievement. So, Jolmer, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this, and hopefully we can get you a few more followers and a few more subscribers. So, as I always say on my channel, until next time, everybody, fly safe.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on the show.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.